professionals. I'm Dr. P. Rama Prasad. I'm the former Assistant General Manager from India's largest bank, that is State Bank of India. Normally, we, the bankers, while lending to various sectors, we know what is that sector, what is the process, and what is the problems, and what are the challenges, and what are the regulations. All these things we will discuss with the particular the prospective borrower. And once we satisfied after getting the adequate security, we will give the loan. That's why most of the bankers, they are having good knowledge in various sectors like chemical industry or pharma industry or the particularly the real estate or the textile or the sugar, etc., etc. Because I worked in a project finance also. In the project finance, the road projects are there, real estate projects are there, chemical industry, and pharma or different sectors. So we will go through the project report submitted by the borrower, and we will request the borrower to produce various documents. And once the borrower has given full information about the project, about the micro level, the process, and all these things he has to tell, then the bank has to satisfy whether the requirement of the loan is there or not. Then only we will finance it to the borrowers. Unless I don't know the ABC of the particular sector, normally the bankers will not move forward. So I have handled pharma sector also, particularly biological events, etc., etc. Now coming to the pharmaceutical sector. So today the banks are asking, while giving the expression of interest, we require the particular sector specialist, or we require those who are having a knowledge in that particular sector. If at all they are asking like that, as a IRP or RP or the resolution professional, we should rise to that occasion. Otherwise, we will lose that opportunity. Because today, the pharma sector is also in some states, it is facing a lot of problem. And a lot of a problem means the liquidity problem is so many regulations are there. Even in pharma also, a lot of fraudulent transactions are also there. So here we should know about what is a pharma, how many types of the in that pharmaceutical sector is there, what are the problems, and what are the regulatory guidelines, what are the drugs act or whatever the various acts that are applicable to the pharma. We should know well in time. Once we received that particular opportunity, you can tell I'm also having some experience, and I also learned this particular. I have also attended the webinar like managing CIRP of a pharma sector of ICSI, IIP. Like that, if you attach that particular the pharma webinar and whatever the letter or email given by the ICSI IPA, if you enclose it to your expression of interest, some good result will happen. Some good result will happen. Only 1 minute, sir. Only 1 minute. Only 1 minute. Sorry for the interruption, sir. So here, once you attach it, whatever the training you have attended, then some good results will happen in selection of that particular the expression of interest. So that's why I will give the nitty gritties of that particular pharma sector. And if at all you are going to act as a IRP or RP to that pharmaceutical sector, and please once again you have a look about this PPT which is going to be shared to you after completion of this class, and follow the whatever it is there. Once again, read. Then you will acquaint the knowledge how to handle that particular pharmaceutical industry. But pharmacy are everywhere it is there, particularly Aurangabad, famous for pharma. Hyderabad, famous for pharma. Number of places of pharma is there. But not only that one, even in across the country, so many small pharma industries are there. Being a banker, we observing that pharma sector is also facing some problems. All these things in nutshell I will discuss. But there is no additional guidelines of CIRP or the IBC or the particularly the rules and regulations. There is no additions. All are common. But you have to acquaint the knowledge of the pharmaceutical sector from the IBC point of view. That's why the managing of a CIRP of a pharmaceutical sector, I wish to discuss in detail, sir. Now coming to attention. The CIRP process in the pharmaceutical industry and other manufacturing is identical. But in case of the real estate, some add-ons are there. Home buyers are there, and the class are there, the representative is there. Some additions are there in real estate, but here there is no such additions. But while managing the CIRP as a going concern of the pharma industry, lot of challenges are there. Lot of challenges are there. Honestly speaking, it is a good experience. At the same time, little bit tough also when compared to the other sectors. Pharma sector is a little bit tough. However, when compared to the other industries in the manufacturing sector, the pharmaceutical industry has certain unique characters. But some characters are different because here a number of regulators are there, the pricing, so many controls systems are also there. And to manage the particular pharma sector is a risk also. Why? Because a lot of accidents are also happening in the pharma sector. I will also explain that one. And the regulatory requirement, etc., ought to be followed in the pharma sector. Pharmaceutical industry, the regulatory requirements are also to be followed. And all these things I will discuss in detail. Why? Because once you occupied that particular seat, and at that moment, before going into that particular the assignment, please have a look and they read this particular this one also PPT also. The main regulators in India's pharmaceutical industry are Central Drug and Standard Control Organization is also there, CDSCO, which is a national body responsible for drug approval and quality. Quality is very important in pharma. Otherwise, if less quality is there, and it is very difficult, and a lot of complaints, a lot of court cases will come. If at all a wrong drug is there, and the quality is are not up to the mark, if the people are died, then it is very difficult. And the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority is also there, NPPA, which regulates the drug prices and ought to be followed. The Drugs and Cosmetics Act is also there, 1940, and the Drugs Control Act 1950 is also there. So these two are important acts for the pharmaceutical industry. State drug control organizations also there, SDCOs, also play a significant role in enforcing regulation with the respective states. working in conjunction with the CDSU. So the state drug control organizations are also there. They are in conjunction with the central drug institutions, CDSU. Other bodies including Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, because the pharmaceutical is mainly a chemical. But to some extent, that Department of Chemical and Petrochemical, the guidelines are also there to some extent, which handles policy. And also Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, which provide ethical guidelines for research. In the pharma, it is a continuous process research. Today in the pharmaceutical, the diabetic or nervous weakness or the cancer or the type of the vaccines for various the diseases, all these things, it is a continuous process. Today, one drug is developed, it will not continue forever. Advanced drugs, because the diseases are like that. But Section 20 of Insolvency Bankruptcy Code 2016, being a going concern, you are the CEO of the company. You have to fulfill the guidelines and you have to run the company, whether it is a pharma or aviation or the textile or the sugar. You have to control. You are the CEO of the company for a period of 180 days or extension 90 or another extension 60, subject to 330 days. But you should involve in that particular the micro level of the particular system. Then only you will have, you will enjoy first one. Second one is challenges are also there. And later on, it is a cakewalk for you to handle any sectors. Pharma is such a the critical one and a challenging one and interesting one also. The IRP is responsible for protecting the company assets as per Section 20 and keeping its operation active. So if at all you are going, they handle the pharma. Sir, I am not a science graduate. I don't know the ABCs of pharma. No, we should not talk like that. Being a IP or IRP, we should handle that case. That's all. But we are matured person and we are the professionals. As if the business is still healthy and functioning normal, known as going concern. We have to run the show. There is no exception. No, I am handling only iron and steel industry, not this one, not that one. If at all you are doing at the time of expression of interest, don't apply. Today, even my bank, State Bank of India also, whenever they are giving expression of interest, you should have the sector-wise knowledge as well as knowledge. And if experience is there, definitely they will give. But even though I'm talking, it is a challenging one. It is not that much a challenge because we are the matured person. We are experienced person. We are professionals also. The Metrological Private Limited was impacts metal and ferro alloys limited and others. NCLT New Delhi case. Section 20, subsection 2, clause E of the gives power to IRP. Take all actions are necessary to keep the CD as a going concern. If you refer the 20, whatever the sector is, that is a secondary one. You have to run the company as a going concern. No, sir. I know the code. I know the regulation. I know the rules. I know to some extent the judicial pronouncement. No. You are going to handle the company as a CEO with the support of Committee of Creditors and with the support of the adjudicating authority, NCLT. In such a process, managing business operations of CD, if advance payments are received by you, sometimes you will get a advance receipt. For supply of goods is received. It is a continuous process. Particularly those who are the buyers, definitely they will pay the advance and they asked the goods. You should provide. Otherwise, I have to log the shut down and lock that factory premises. Then automatically number of workers will be retrenched. No activity means your resolution plan will come down and haircut will be more. Received cannot be treated as a raising an interim finance. So once they have given an advance payment, it is not an interim finance. You use the funds and manufacture and deliver the goods to the buyer. No, sir. I am only IP. IP, correct. You have to handle the company with the help of the production manager, finance manager, marketing manager, HR manager, and the different the line functions are there. Otherwise, if at all, even at the last month, I have seen one RP, he is not interested to continue the company as a going concern, that a penalty imposed. So you're a all-rounder, not only to protect the law or act or code or rules or regulation. Somebody told, being an IP, I am having good knowledge in law. No, managerial skills also required. How to manage the company, how to run the company, how to run the company under Section 20 as a going concern. So whatever the advance payments you receive the advance payment, it is also a CIRP cost. Run the company. Run the company. And if advance payment of goods or which a CD has a going concern, maybe manufacturing. Such amount received advance payment supply of goods during that CIRP would have treated as a CIRP cost. So why I have discussed one case, particularly Section 20 means sometimes you will get the advance payments. In that particular case, even though advance payments are received, RP is not bothered about it to run the company. Because whether it is a pharma or aviation or chemical industry or telecom industry sector, whatever it is there, once the case is admitted and the case is handed over to the RP or IRP, you have to run the company as if you are the CEO of the company. No, sir, I am not having the. No, you should learn. We are matured person. After certain the age, on account of our experience and knowledge, definitely it is a cakewalk for us to handle the company also. Reasons for turning to non-performing of a pharmaceutical company. That's why I'm giving the nuts and bolts of the pharma sector in detail. So that once you got that opportunity, definitely it will give some comfort to handle the company. So once, what are the problems? What are the challenges? If you perceived well in time, then definitely it is a cakewalk for you. The reasons to turn into an NPA of the pharma, what are the reasons? Because being a banker, I'm in Hyderabad, lot of pharma industries are there. Clusters are also there. Vishakhapatnam pharma city is there. Number of pharma companies are there. Some of them are turned into non-performing and the banks are also filing the case with the NCLTs. But what is a pharma? What is the types of pharma? What is the problems of the pharma? What is the licenses to be obtained? If at all the drug licenses are not renewed, then it will be lapsed. Then whoever is coming, that particularly the prospective resolution applicant, he is unable to run the company once the license are expired. For each and every drug, a license is required. For manufacturing, for selling, etc. The reasons for increase in NPS in India pharmaceutical include factors like supply chain disruptions, the chain drugs, the particularly raw material disruptions are there due to dependence on imported raw materials. We are not talking about only the domestic raw materials, imported raw materials. Some of the raw materials we are imported from USA as well as China also. But sometimes economic slowdown affected the business growth. That's why some of the non-performing assets are increasing. Other causes are some pharma promoters, willful defaulters, and fraudulent transactions. They are giving some assurance about the drug, but the drug is, particularly while using the drug, people are suffering a lot. Immediately people will file the suit, then the factory to be closed. Once the factory to be closed, then automatically it turn into non-performing. We have to file with NCLT. And those who are going to take, that selection is also very, very important. Not normally high H1, whoever is giving highest one, that type of, because whether they are having good knowledge in pharma sector or not, that also I will discuss. And what are the puff transactions? That also I will discuss. And fraud coupled with a challenge such as delays in project execution. Some new pharma industries, lot of delay because everywhere the licenses are required, and research, and patents, intellectual property rights, all are required. And the exports are more in pharma, particularly Bharat Biotech in Hyderabad. During that pandemic COVID, they exported a huge amount. It is a good revenue to the government of India on account of forex reserves increased, on account of exports of the particular this one vaccines. Indian pharmaceutical industry relies heavily on imported raw materials, especially active pharmaceutical ingredients, primarily from China. The ingredients, the raw material we are importing. So if at all you are occupy the seat of the particular RPI, IRP, where the company is procuring the raw material, what is the price? And a letter of credits, some more letter of credits are there in the pharmaceutical industry. Next, disruptions in supply chains due to geopolitical tensions. Once the tensions are there among the countries, then the raw material stop. Once raw material stopped, no production. No production means shutdown. Shutdown means unnecessarily I have to pay the wages and salaries. Or trade restrictions. Today, that is a problem with the USA also. That also I have covered. Can hinder the manufacturing and negatively impact on company's ability to generate revenue and repay loans. That is the reasons for accounts are turning into non-performing asset. The willful defaulters, very few are there. Remaining all are the supply chain management, raw material not coming, and trade barriers. All these things are there. Stipulation in expression of interest for finalization of IRP or RP for pharmaceutical by the financial creditor. The financial creditors, whenever they are finalizing that particular RP or IRP, they will put the stipulation. Once you are having good knowledge, they don't ask any particular qualification. Once you are having the good knowledge to handle the pharma, then only you apply. Particularly the Canara Bank, the State Bank of India also, whenever they are issuing the expression of interest, they will stipulate this condition. What is the stipulation? Sectorial or domain knowledge is required. Once you are go through this one, definitely you will become an expert. Okay, reminding is you are having the line functions. The production manager is there, finance manager is there, marketing manager is there, HR manager is there, research and development department head is also there. Once you are having the basic knowledge, remaining things you are not manufacturing, but some knowledge is required. Otherwise, it is very difficult to handle the company as a going concern, particularly in the pharmaceutical sector. Commercial banks and financial institutions inviting expression of interest for empanelment of insolvency professional to handle corporate insolvency cases potentially include pharmaceutical or real estate or steel and industry, like that they are giving advertisement, or they are sending the emails to the empaneled IPs. This process involves submitting an expression of interest, which includes details about IP, sectorial experience, and qualification. Some of the IPs, there were basically the science graduates are there. They know the chemical bonds and all these things. They are better. But even others also, finance background or other background people also, it is not a rocket science. But if at all the basic knowledge is there, I'm not asking you 20 years or 30 years experience in the particular line of activity, but the knowledge. Whenever you are interacting with your functionary heads, if at all you are dark in that particular knowledge, how you will take the decisions? Whether to disseminate that information to COC or disseminate the information to the adjudicating authority, the basic knowledge is very much required about the pharmaceutical. Several pharma companies in India faced CIRP. Cases filed with the NCLT, and these cases are often involving default on loans or failing to meet the payment obligation, leading to creditors, particularly the OC or FC, initiating CIRP process. They are initiating CIRP process. Examples of the pharma industries undergone, some completed, some undergoing the CIRP process are like Orchid Pharma. The NCLT Chennai bench initiated CIRP against Orchid Health Private Limited, a promoter of the company of Orchid Pharma, due to defaults in repayment of the loan. One beautiful case study is there in this pharma, that is written by the one RP about his experience in pharmaceutical. That is published in ICAI triple IP, triple IIP, like that. The CA-IPA. That article, very good article. It is a case study. From the day one, how he is handling the pharmacy unit, how he succeeded in the farm, and what challenges he have faced. Today, everybody is, some of the people, they are thinking about IP means only legal. No, management also. You have to manage. You have to run the company. You have to handle the company properly as per the expectations of the COC as well as the adjudicating authority. Manish Pharmaceutical. NCLT has a case involving Manish Pharmaceuticals. It is also at NCLT. So many pharmaceuticals are there. Based on the data only, sectorial knowledge is required. Earlier, I have given the real estate. Now I am giving pharmaceutical. And based on the requirement, other sectors also, over a period of time, we will cover. You should be all-rounder, a complete man, law, finance, all functions you should know. Knowledge is required. I'm not talking about full expert, because once you are interacting with the production function, they are telling some technical words, technical jargons, how you will handle, then automatically some problems will arise. Scion Healthcare. The operational criteria initiate CIRP against Scion Healthcare for unpaid invoice to raw material supplies. Pharma is a big sector in the country. That also I am discussing the total pharma. Then after completion of this one, you are in a position to handle the CIRP cases when compared to the others, those who are not having the knowledge about the pharmaceutical sector. Unpaid invoice raw material supplies. Made life sciences. It is also a pharma, life sciences. Particularly in the pharma, different types are there. Not only manufacturing the tablets or syrups or injections or viral or whatever the vaccines and other things. Research is also comes under. We are financing to research also. The operational creator filed a petition under Section 9 of the IPC of Vivid Life Sciences. Pharma, number of types are also there. Parenteral Drugs India Limited. The above company is undergoing CIRP with NCLT, extending CIRP period to allow further negotiation with the resolution plans. Today, the Drugs Control Act or a Drugs Act, lot of riders are there. Government stipulated lot of conditions. To run the company is also a difficult task for the promoters. I know one company in Bangalore who is known to me. For the last 2 years, nobody is purchased that pharma company. In the meantime, machinery, the rusting and the value is depreciating. It is also difficult. Prospective resolution applicant finding the also a difficult one in pharma. The key reasons for CIRP initiation is why some companies are coming to the NCLT folder. Loan defaults. Companies defaulting loan payments is a major reason. If all import raw material is there and all licenses are issued time and the marketing, lot of problems are there, doctors, hospitals, so many chain is a supply chain. If all are perfect, then the company will run in a beautiful. Today in Hyderabad, Aravindo Pharma or the Reddy Labs, so many pharmaceutical companies are there. Not only here in Hyderabad, the Vishakhapatnam, Srikakulam, number of pharma companies in the outskirts. Operational debt, failure to pay the suppliers or service provider can also trigger CIRP because the timely payment is very much required. Distributors are there. Hospitals are there. Government hospitals are there. Once we have supplied the medicines to the government hospitals, they will give later on. Not instantly. Cash and carry system is not there. Contamination issue. This is also another reason in pharmaceutical companies field. Contamination. They are releasing air, water, waste. Take for example, Pharma City in Vishakhapatnam. So many companies are there. Whatever the ground water level that is contaminated, if at all you are put any drilling and get the water, all water is purely chemical water, not drinkable water. And on account of inhaling that particular air, people are suffering with lung cancers. And on account of drinking the water, 30 kilometers radius, 30 kilometers radius, all are contaminated water. And if at all any buffaloes or milk, the cows are drinking that one or eating that particular grass, definitely they will also suffer it. Contamination issues, pollution control, lot of pollution, waste management. And the people, that's why one France, recently they have given one report. Vacate that particular all pharma companies in that particular place for the next 15 years, then only the lands are reusable, otherwise not reusable. Some companies, some cases, contamination issues, manufacturing facility lead to recall expenses, loan extended by the financial creditor, and ultimately CIR. Data integrity issues. This is also one of big area. The composition of the tablet or tonic or injections. If a small deviation is there, then they will file a case in court. Similar contamination, data integrity can also lead to CIR. That's why the pharma, even though we are financing to pharma, high credit risk to the banks also. But there is no other way. Demand is there, exports are there. If at all I stopped, then the government will issue the insurance. Otherwise, it helps a lot. It gives a lot of employment opportunity and export earnings of a foreign currency to the country. Okay. Even Biocon, Karnataka, that is also a big plant is there, outskirts. They are developing cancer drugs and diabetic drugs, etc., etc. But that was funded by the commercial banks. Examples of pharma into industries accidents. This is another big challenge in pharmaceutical industries. The reactors blasted. Suddenly, night at about even a number of accidents, particularly in Hyderabad or Visakhapatnam or Srikakulam or Anakapalli. I'm talking about my state and adjacent state. Even Aurangabad, pharma is a famous one. Maharashtra. Across the country, wherever it is there, that is a high risk also. Surrounding people. But what measures they are taking to control the accidents? Suppose you are a ERP of one company, you are continuously going concern concept, suddenly the reactor bursted. What you will do? So whether the reactors are good or not, and you have to suitable instructions are to be given to the production manager. Costly lapses. On the Hyderabad Pharma University blast, pharma plants should have a high level of safety culture. Even though they are having a good safety, still some companies are blasted on account of reactors or boilers, etc., etc. Because the precision is very much required. The tablets precision is required. Lot of processing is there. And if you see 35 killed in Telangana pharmaceutical factory blast. So whenever you are handling that issue, keep it in mind. This one also. Keep it in mind. This one also. 35 killed in Telangana pharmaceutical blast. Okay. You may be the temporary 180 or 270 or 330 days. But challenges are there. But challenges are can be over. You can overcome that challenges by following the preventive vigilance system. Next, death rises 17 in pharma company explosion accident in Andhra Pradesh. CM announced high level investigation. So pharma is that one also. Keep it in mind. Once the assignment is received, immediately go there. And normally this is a different sector. We should be cautious mind, preventive vigilance mind. But if at all you are taking some good measures, it will not happen. Deadly Indian pharmaceutical blast blame to chemical solvent. So that's fine. We have to handle carefully because it is a sensitive sector. The input as well as the output, both are dangerous. Preservation of input, it is dangerous. Preservation of output is also dangerous. In cold storage units, lot of the particularly all are chemical compounds only. 17 killed and 20 injured. Reactor blast, pharmacy, Andhra Pradesh, Anakapalli. But at the same time, number of units are closed, number of units are filed with NCLT. And anyhow, I have to recover. As a banker, the financial creditor has to recover the amount, or the operational creditor has to recover the amount. Whether it is blasted or not blasted, that is immaterial for them. But we are going to handle that cases. We should be alert. For that purpose only, I am giving these pictures, not to create any have a panic. Tariffs and health security, the future of USA-India pharma trade. Today, everybody is talking about a tariff. Mr. Donald Trump, he's also increased the tariff on imports. Once imported tariff is there, definitely the cost of the price will increase. Once the cost of price will increase, the consumer will search for other alternative because affordability may not be there. Once the demand is reduced, then we have to terminate some other people, and the profits of the organization, pharma companies, profit will reduce. Once the profit is reduced, they are unable to pay the bank loans. Once they are unable to pay the bank loans, bank will file a case with the NCLT on account of account turn into non-performing asset. It is a chain reaction. It is a chain reaction. So the tariff and health security of the present, we are listening us from newspapers, etc., etc. The news. Any US move to impose tariffs on Indian pharmaceutical drugs, rising drug cost, disrupting supply chains, weakening health security on both sides, and stifling the global phenomena innovation. Once the tariffs are increased, people always think about particularly insulin is there. Insulin pharma companies, they are manufacturing, but a tariff is increased. Once a tariff is increased, the patients, diabetic patients, they will use another insulin which is available in the market with a low price. Thereby, the demand for the product will decrease. Once the demand decreases, sales will decrease. Sales decreases, the fixed cost will not recover. So the company turn into loss. Loss leads to NPA. NPA leads to NCLT. The case shifted from bank to NCLT. Any US move impose tariffs on Indian pharmaceutical risks, rising drug costs. The news. The US trade taxes like potential high tariffs mentioned in by the Donald Trump would significantly increase the cost of Indian pharmaceutical products in the US market. Definitely, they will think it of the consumer. If at all certain price level is there, definitely it is affordable for him. If at all it is above the price, he may not purchase. He will search for the other alternatives. Even as an Indians also, whenever the price of the product increases, we always are searching for the other alternatives. Once we are searching for the other alternatives, the company who is manufacturing the earlier product, they will close down or shut down their doors. Then turn into NPA. Financial creditors will file the case with NCLT, and the IRP or RP has to handle the company. squeezing profit margin, reducing competitiveness, potentially forcing Indian companies to raise prices to consumer diversify to other markets. Today, the pharma company is also having problem in the coming days. Lot of exports are there. Domestic as well as exports, more or less equal. However, in April 2025, US White House issued the fact sheet stating that a pharmaceutical would be exempted from some tariffs. But in practical, how they are taking the view, that is also still it is a question mark. Providing immediate relief but leaving the long-term impact on uncertainty, especially if the tariffs are later reimposed or a contest of charges. So one policy matter disturbed the cars, some industries also. Disturbed and increased the unemployment also. Disturbed that policy matter, particularly the balance of payments or balance of trade also. Disturbed that particular policy, disturbed the banking system also, increase in the non-performing assets of the bank. That policy matter disturb the rising number of cases in NCLT also. About pharmaceutical sector, we will in detail, we will look into later on puff transaction, the resolution applicant, while selection of a resolution of all these things up to 5:30, I will discuss in detail. Lot of efforts I have made to prepare this presentation. India pharmaceutical industry is one of the largest and most significant sector contributing both the domestic as well as global healthcare system. It is the largest and most significant sector, both the domestic market as well as global market. That's why the demand both sides are there, in domestic as well as the export market. India pharma sector, pharma industry is the largest provider of generic drugs globally, and it is known as affordable vaccines and generic medications. This is common diseases, whatever the fever, whatever the particularly the cough or generic drugs. So many generic drugs are there. Our country is famous or manufacturing of generic drugs globally. We are supplying globally all countries because our labor is cheap. Processing cost is also less when compared to the other developed countries. India's rank third worldwide pharmaceutical production by volume and 14th value. Because the developed countries, they are preparing the sophisticated pharma medicines. But we are focusing on bulk volume wise. Volume wise, ours is a third in the world, but value, developed countries, 14th. Even though we are putting a lot of efforts to manufacture, we are in third, but whereas 14th, China, leading the country, leading the world. Industry also established a domestic pharmaceutical segment with a strong network of 3,000 drug companies are there, 10,500 manufacturing units are also there across the country. Drug companies are there, manufacturing units 10,500. Imagine. And MSME, lot of MSME units are also there. I'm talking about the big chains in the pharma. About 20% of the global experts in generic drugs are met by the Indian pharma. That is the greatness of our country. 20% of the global exports in the generic drugs are met by Indian pharma manufacturers. Known affordable medicines and vast production capacity is there in Indian pharmaceutical sectors, has earned a strong reputation globally. That's why number of units are there. Bankers lending is also there. Operational creditors are also there. Non-banking financial companies are also participating in lending. NBFCs also. And some other companies are failed. Some other companies are turned into non-performing. It is a continuous process. It is a continuous process. As long as the country is there, as long as the people are using the drugs, some companies will close, some new companies will come. This is a continuous process. According to report published by Indian Brand Equity Foundation, the Indian pharmaceutical industry projected to reach market value of $130 billion by 2030. That much potentiality is there for Indian pharma. So many companies are supplying. Some companies unable to take off. Initially, they failed. Some companies are due to competition, due to input, all these problems are there. Normally, once the small companies are there, it is very difficult for you to find out the prospective resolution applicant. Because a small MSME type small companies, economic viability is very less. If at all any prospective resolution applicant wishes to purchase that unit, definitely he will also face the problem. The medium size and large size companies, to some extent, they will sustain in the market. Otherwise, no. These points are to be keep it in mind while handling the cases of the CIRP of the pharmaceutical sector. With a strong presence in research and development in India, one of the greatest is the research development is also there, but not up to the mark when compared to the developed countries. Manufacturing and exports of pharma products or types of pharmaceutical industry in India is segmented in multiple categories. Pharmaceutical sector means not production. So many types are there. I will discuss about the types also. Based on the functions, based on the specialties, based on the operations, the pharmaceutical sectors are split into so many types are there. The types are brand developers are there in pharmaceutical, generic drugs developers are there, biotechnology pharma companies are also there, pharma manufacturing units are also there, marketing of a pharmaceuticals is there, distribution company among others. These are the various types of the pharmaceutical industries. These are the various types. No, don't think that research and organization is also there. Don't think that production is not the criteria. Some research and development is also there. The further also banks are financing. Financial creditors are financing. That also turn into bad. Whatever the research equipment, all these things, you have to sell it through liquidation or hand over the company to the prospective resolution applicant who is having that type of experience. While selecting the prospective resolution, background checking is very much required in pharmaceutical industry. Types of pharmaceutical industry in India. What are the various types of pharmaceutical industry? One is a brand developers. That is a type 1. Brand developers in pharmaceutical industry play a crucial role in the success of the drug companies. Brand, Reddy Labs, Arvinda Pharma. These types of pharmas, Pfizer, are various departments and dealing with the specific diseases. In that particular company, one is a cancer, one is a healthcare, third one is a diabetic, next nervous, so many things, so many different products are there, including the biocon also. The biological, particularly the Bharat Biotech is the only vaccine, but the brand developers are also there. So here the research and the development is also there. They will develop whenever the new diseases are arise in the world or in the country, they will do the research. And they will do the research with the model animals. And after successfully, they will use, they will take the human beings also. And if at all the human beings are faced any problem, then compensation, lot of this one is there. The companies offer wide range of services from early stage of drug development to commercial scale operation. The research and development of ready labs, they are continuing across the world. Whatever the diseases are there, they will study, they will develop a drug, how to cure that disease. Then they will go for the commercial production. And they will register the intellectual property rights on that particular developed drug. These companies take patents for creating new drugs to protect the right to make them. That's why the intellectual properties are in that particular company name. They will sell to the other companies also. Some production, all these things are there. India, particularly generic drug manufacture. That is a brand developers, one type. The second type is generic drug manufacturers, particularly paracetamol, amoxicillin. All these things, general cough syrups and a cough, all these generic drugs. India globally recognized a hub for generic drugs production, accounting 20% of the global supply. 1/5 of the global supply we are providing. That's why volume-wise ours is the third in the world. Examples include paracetamol for pain or fever, and amoxicillin, that is bacterial infections, etc., etc. These generic drug manufacturers are more in the country. That's why 20% of the total production of the world, as well as third in the world on account of generic drug manufacturers, are more in India. These medicines are cost effective. Paracetamol, crocin, all these things are small, this one. Due to no research is required and a development easily available for every buyer. Generic drugs are essential in making the healthcare more affordable. If at all fever is there, people are not going to the doctor. First, they will use the generic drugs like crocin, paracetamol, etc., etc. And since the price is much lower than the brand versions, they are widely used in developing countries like India. In our country also, the generic drug said, particularly demand is more. Demand is more. So that's why it is affordable. Even low income people also they can purchase. One strip, the paracetamol, particularly it is very less. That's why they are manufacturing. That's why in MSME, this is more. MSME sector or pharmaceutical sector, this type of companies are more. Next, the third one is research and development. It is also a pharmaceutical sector. Research and development companies India vital role in the pharmaceutical innovation. These firms focus on discovering new drugs. That's why, particularly the branded company like the Reddy Labs or Arvindo Pharma or Biocon, or Bharat Biotech also, or Pune, some pharmaceutical companies are there. And the particularly the Aurangabad, all the research and development companies a vital role in pharmaceutical innovation. Always they are discovering new drugs, improving existing formulations, and they developed advanced drug delivery systems like that. Without a continuous research, the industry would not able to develop. Continuous research is a never-ending process in the pharma. New treatment for diseases, improve drug efficacy, and reduce the side effects. This is a continuous, even the existing medicines also, if at all side effects are there. Take for example, antibiotics. It kills the bacteria, but it disturbs the liver also. The Mankind Pharma under Dr. Reddy Labs, leading examples of research and development centers. Mankind Pharma and Reddy Labs, leading examples of research and development centers in the country. Pharma manufacturing. Pharma manufacturing, this is another type of the pharma companies, which are financed by the financial creditors. Pharma manufacturing involves the production of drugs and medications for healthcare use. They are manufacturers. In India, pharmaceutical company manufacturers are highly regulated process. Drugs Control Act, ensuring the quality. They have to maintain the quality. They have to maintain the efficacy. They have to maintain the safety of the products. If you see the puff transactions in the pharma, N number. But it is a very difficult to sell the unit to another unit. That is a big problem in pharma. Prospective resolution applicants, very limited, and it is not available in the market readily. And most of the pharma units are, after CIRP, it goes into liquidation only because nobody is there. Nobody is submitted the resolution plans. Definitely liquidation. Assets are to be sold, one person, land to be sold, another person, like that. So the quality, efficacy, and the safety of the products are very important. At Senegal, the biotech manufacture over 300 pharmaceutical products they are manufacturing, ranging from plain relievers, antibiotics, and critical care medicines. That is the big company. They are manufacturing 300 pharmaceutical products, particularly pharma manufacturing. And that is funded by the nationalized banks and private sector banks also. That all products are WHO, World Health Organization, and GMP, good manufacturing practices. The good manufacturing process guidelines are to be followed. That is GMP guidelines. That is a must in a pharma. I will discuss in detail also. All products who are GMP, safety and quality. Because you are releasing the product means the product is consumed by the patients. Once it is a side effects or it is a create problem, then it is a problem to the company also. Number of cases will be filed. People will resist and people will dismantle that particular plant also sometimes. If it is giving a negative results on health. That's why I asked the ICSI IIP to conduct one sectorial, particular all sectors, the CIRP process. Otherwise, I received the I received one big company, pharma means, okay, it is very easy to tell, but it is very easy to, it is very difficult to handle that particular companies. But I'm not discouraging. It is very easy also. Another side, subject to having the good knowledge and managerial skills and continuous updating the knowledge about during the CIRP process also. One company is sufficient, not multiple companies. Apart from the manufacturing, these companies are also do promotion, pharma manufacturing, labeling, packaging of the medicine, dosage forms, tablets, capsules, injectables, and syrups. So the pharma manufacturing companies, they are doing like this. The World Health Organization provides a own set of good manufacturing practices guidelines. The GMP, that is to be followed by the pharma, that is to be followed by all countries, that is to be followed, and they will verify that one also, which is essential standard for ensuring pharmaceutical products safe, effective, and also high quality. This is a sensitive. If at all consumer durable goods, if at all any quality missing is there, there is no problem. We have to pay the damage. But here life of the people, we are dealing with the life of the people, their health condition. Once that product is used, any side effects are there, then it is a big problem. While regulatory body like USA also, they are having separate Food and Drugs Administration, FDA is also there. And they are also developed their own GMP, that is called CGMP. And the World Health Organization's guidelines are used globally and enforced through cooperation with the national health authorities. Our country also, they are following the WHO guidelines, World Health Organization guidelines. Another type of the pharma is pharma marketing. Another type is pharma marketing. What is a pharma marketing? It involves the pharma promotion and the sale of pharmaceutical products to healthcare professionals, patients, other stakeholders in the healthcare ecosystem. Healthcare professionals like doctors, whether the MBBS doctor or MS or RMP registered medical practitioners earlier, all. So this is in India, pharma marketing is evolved over the years, over a period of time, with the companies focusing on building strong relationship with the doctors through medical representatives, pharmacists to particularly the shops and healthcare institutions. So this is also very, very important. So this is another type of the pharma sector, pharmaceutical sector. Pharma means not manufacturing alone. It is a pharma marketing. Another one is a pharma distribution. Pharma distribution is a crucial component of the pharmaceutical supply chain, ensuring medications reach pharmacists, hospitals, healthcare providers across the country. This is easy. It is nothing but a trading one. It is nothing but a trading one. Traders. Here, but here also some problems are there. Expiry date, and they have to preserve the pharma items in a cold storage. The refrigerators minus degree centigrade, that particular refrigeration systems are also should be available with the distributors. Otherwise, it is exposed. The content will spoil, damage. Here also some challenges are there. So pharma distribution is a crucial component of the pharma supply chain, ensuring medications, research pharmacies, and hospitals, healthcare provided across the country. These type of companies act as a bridge between pharma companies and the retail stores pharmaceuticals. Distribution companies manage logistics, warehousing, transportation of pharmaceutical products from manufacturer to retailer and institutions, particularly the hospitals, directly. And they will collect once the goods are expired, they will collect the back to their this one and they destroy that one. Here also some guidelines are there. Here also some guidelines are there. So the distribution companies manage logistics, warehousing and transportation, pharmaceutical product manufacturing, etc., etc. But cost efficiency is very, very important. Ultimately, the drug to be supplied to the public with low cost. Here also, the price and all these things are taken care of by the government. It should not be. Even sometimes the GST will also reduce on account of the essential, the life-saving drugs. Cost efficiency is very much required. India has emerged medical tourism hub of the world, providing cost-effective treatments. With the latest technology, enabled several path-breaking reforms and provisions. Across the world, medical tourism is in India. Even the Gulf countries, some of the people, they will come and they will treat and they will go. Why? Because there it is a costly. Here also the cost is the manufacturing, the pharma products are cheaper. That's why the hospitals, they will purchase with a low cost and treat the people with a low cost. That's why on account of low price, it becomes the hub of a world providing cost effective treatments. The medical tourism is increasing in India. Access to affordable HIV treatment from India is one of the great success stories in the medicine. HIV treatment in India is one of the greatest success of that stories in the medicine. India is one of the biggest supplier of a low-cost vaccine in the world also. That's why the Bharat Biotech that is located in Hyderabad, they supplied across the globe. They supplied across the globe during the pandemic COVID-19. Because of even Pune unit also, Pune, another company. Because of a low price and high quality, Indian medicines are preferred worldwide, thereby rightly making the country pharmacy of the world. Why I have chosen this subject means number of pharmaceutical companies are more, banking finance is also more, number of NCLT cases are also more. You have to handle the pharma companies in an efficient manner. Because as per Section 20, the company should be as a going concern. This type of problems, whether you are there or earlier management is there, but if at all you are new to the company and you are the CEO of the new CEO of the company, once the company processes the challenges, the types, the nuts and bolts of that particular sector, if you know something, it is gives us some comfort to handle the company. Otherwise, it gives a lot of discomfort. For that purpose only, today I requested the ICS, IIP. I want to conduct pharma. Last time I have conducted a real estate also. Because of the low price, high quality, India becomes the pharma of the world. India has a traditionally quite a strong pharma sector. with low cost manufacturing, 30 to 35% lower than the US and Europe. The big markets, US and Europe. When compared to that manufacturing cost, our manufacturing cost is 30 to 35% low. Cost efficient R&D, research and development also. Our research and development is very, very less. About 80% less than the developed country. That's why most of the drugs are developed. Even Bharat Biotech, the biotech, they developed that vaccine with a low cost. That's why they succeeded during that pandemic COVID-19. Cheap skilled labor is also available because to work in pharma, most of the people, they are not interested. Even though BDS, B pharmacy or M pharmacy and different pharmacy courses are there. Even though they are completing, some of the people 50% or more than 50%, they are not interested to work in pharma because of on account of fumes. If at all they continuously inhaling, then lungs problem will come. Skin allergies will come. So that's why all these the ideas, if at all that knowledge is there, it is very easy to handle this pharma. If I don't have the knowledge ABC of a pharmacy, how I will handle? About 87% less than the developed market, and a cheap skill is also available. Now, the another important area to be known by the insolvency professionals or resolution professionals or interim resolution professionals is Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and the Drugs and Control Act 1950. This is important. What is the Drugs Cosmetics Act? First, we will discuss about the difference between these two. After that, we will go to Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and what are the various licenses to be procured. If at all you are sitting in the MD room and doing your work, in the meantime, some drug licenses are expired, you should not manufacture the drug. We have to stop the production. The drug licenses are to be renewed on time. The periodicity of the drug license is 5 years. The periodicity of the drug license is 5 years. Now, the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, Drugs Control Act 1950. What is the difference between these two? After that, we will break for tea for 10 minutes. Again, we will come back after completion of the difference between Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 and Drugs Control Act 1950. These two, you should aware of this while handling the CIRP of the pharmaceutical sector. What are the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940? The primary difference in the scope, particularly difference is the Drugs and Cosmetics Acts, also known as a Drugs Control Act, regulate quality, safety, standards of drug and cosmetics imported or manufactured and distributed in India, while the Drugs Control Act 1950 deals with control of sales, supply and distribution of drugs to ensure the availability and prevent hoarding by empowering the government to fix the price and set restrictions on quantities. Today, some drugs, life-saving drugs, the hoarding is also there. Even though the manufacturing cost is very less, they are hoarding and during that life-saving, they will charge 30,000 or 40,000, even though that particular medicine is the 100 rupees or so. So that's why Drug Control Act 1950 and the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940. And prevent hoarding of empowering that particular government to fix prices and set restrictions and quantities. What is the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1950? This is also generally they are called as a Drug Control Act. Another one is a Drugs Act. That is also more or less this even it is a Drugs Cosmetics Act 90. People are talking about a Drugs Control Act. Drugs 1940 means 1940, if at all they called it is a Drugs and Cosmetics Act. 1950 is a Drugs within bracket Control Act. What is the purpose of this Cosmetics, Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940? To ensure that drugs and cosmetics are safe to use, effective, and meet the quality standard. Whenever the pharmaceutical manufacturing is there, lot of quality. Whenever you are visiting to, I visited a number of pharma companies because I am the banker. Whenever we are verifying the plant visit, often every 3 months we have to wear a dress and our shoes and all these things to be removed, and we have to wear separate socks and gloves, all these things, and the head to be covered, all these things, and we have to enter in that particular plant in a different manner. In a different manner. Now, particularly the purpose to ensure that drugs and cosmetics are safe, effective, and meet quality standards. That is defined in the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. Focus, regulation of import, manufacture, and distribution. And the key aspects are govern the standards for drugs, cosmetics, licensing for manufacturing and sale of the quality, and control measures. All these things are defined in Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940. 1940. Whereas the Drugs Control Act 1950. The purpose is to control the price and the availability of the drugs. Control the price. They should not charge as they wish. They have to get the permission. Focus. Control over sale, supply, distribution of drugs. And the key aspects are empower government to fix maximum selling price, restrict the sale quantities. Some drugs we should not sell without any prescription. And some drugs, life-saving drugs, you should not reach to the common man frequently. Some restrictions are there. I will discuss that one also. Regulate the distribution drugs to prevent shortages and price wars. So these two are very, very important. If at all you are appointed as an IRP or RP, you should have some knowledge. Anyhow, what type of licenses and all these things to be taken by the company, and whether the renewal is due or not. Once the renewal is not happened and the drugs are manufactured, then it is immediately they will cease and they will close the pharmaceutical industry also. Okay, IBC prevail over all other acts, not with regard to this life saving drugs or life risk is also there. So whenever they are renewing the licenses, they will look into all these things like that, the pollution control. Even though we are talking about IBC prevail over other acts, no, not with regard to pollution control. If at all they are releasing pollution and people are suffering or dying, IBC prevail over other act will not applicable in that case. Even in the drugs also. They are manufacturing, people are using and side effects are there. No, IBC prevail over other acts. Not applicable in this case. Okay. So the purpose and all these things is this one. In the essence, 1940 account the product itself, while 1950 act about the market and accessibility of the product. These are the two differences. Being an IP or RP, you should have some knowledge in 1940 Act and 1950 Act while handling the pharmaceutical sector. Now, in detail of Drugs Cosmetics Act, what are the various licenses? What is the periodicity of the licenses? And the Drug Control Act, we will discuss after tea break. So we will break for tea for 10 minutes. Is it okay for all, sir? Is it okay for all?
Yes, please.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now, in detail, I will discuss about the cosmetics. Only 1 minute, sir. Only 1 minute. Okay, sir. Sorry for the inconvenience. So now I will discuss in detail about the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940. It is also called as a Drug Control Act. Drug Control Act means 1940. 1940. Okay. What are the various licenses to be taken by the pharmaceutical companies? The Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 is a piece of Indian legislation and regulates the import, manufacture, distribution, and sale of drugs and cosmetics within the country. The primary goal is to ensure that the products are safe to use and it should be effective, and whatever the diseases are there, that is to be cured and met with the established quality standards. The quality standards are also very precision, pakka, no deviation, no deviation. Now, in the Indian pharmaceutical industry, various licenses are required depending upon the specific business activity. As I told earlier, the types are more. For each and every type, separate licenses are there. These include manufacturing licenses, Form 25 and 20 for allopathic and other Ayurvedic or Siddha or Unani drugs, and sale licenses, retail and wholesale, and loan licenses are also there. I will discuss about the loan license and import license. All these things, some licenses are to be required under Drugs Control Act 1940. Additionally, licenses like FSS, FSI for health and supplements, particularly vitamins, or particularly the vitamins or the health supplements and the proteins, and the trademark registration also relevant. The FSI license issued by the Food and Safety Standard Authority of India is a mandatory certification for business involved in food industry in India. So here, whenever there the pharma companies are also manufacturing now proteins or minerals or whatever the vitamins and all these things are there, they are come out with some health supplements also. For that also, licenses are required. It ensures the food products meet a specific quality and safety standards. The licenses require various activities. For manufacturing, certain licenses are there. Processing, certain licenses are there. Storage, certain licenses are there. Distribution, certain licenses are there. Sale of food items, certain licenses, particularly health supplements. All these things are licenses are required. Without licenses, the product should not be sold, product should not be manufactured, product should not be transported. Drug manufacturing licenses. What are the drug manufacturing licenses? Attention. During the CIRP, the interim resolution profession or the resolution may need to renew certain license of the corporate data to maintain operations as a going concern. If at all the IRP or RP, they have not renewed on time, the loss to be borne by the IRP or RP, not from the CIRP cost. Not from the CIRP cost. Failure to do so could lead to loss of business operations or opportunities and operational difficulties, potential impact in the value of the company and the resolution process. So that's why, if at all you are adopting that section 20 of the going concern, this is a mandatory. And another area, the IRP or RP responsibilities including managing corporate data or assets and operations, which may be necessitate renewal of licenses. Suppose a pollution control board license, if at all it is not renewed, definitely stoppage of the activity. No question of IBC prevail over other acts. No question. This is the basic requirement to manufacture the products. Otherwise, the people will suffer, the people will die, the people with side effects. The interim resolution profession or the resolution profession must renew the corporate data pollution control license during the CIRP. If at all you are continued the company as a going concern, particularly pharmaceutical companies are prone to air pollution, water pollution, waste management also. If at all the waste of the pharmaceutical thrown in the society people will suffer a lot on account of skin diseases or inhaling that fumes, they will lungs will also be affected. If at all they are not taking remedial measures for water and air, definitely the people who are drinking the water, they may die also because it is a toxins are there and the contamination is there, particularly the water or air. Failure to do so lead to penalties and financial losses, which IRP could be held liable for, not the part of the CIRP process. That's why I personally requested ICSI, IAP to conduct this type of a sector-wise number of sectors knowledge, then you will become the expert in that particular sector. IP is not simply the code, regulations, rules. Beyond that, Form 25, one license for manufacturing of allopathic drugs. For manufacturing the pharma products, Form 25 to be obtained. But this form time excluding Schedule C, C1 and X medicines. That what is C, what is the C1, what is the X, later on I will discuss. And Form 25 license for loan license to manufacture or sale of distribution of drugs mentioned in the form of 25. Some people, they don't have the manufacturing facilities. They will ask the other companies to manufacture on behalf of their product, on behalf of them. That is the Form 20A loan licenses. Loan license also in detail I will discuss later on. What is the Schedule C? C1 and X Drugs of Cosmetics Act 1940. In India, categorized as specific types of drugs based on the nature of risk profile, dictating license requirement for manufacturing. So these drugs normally should not be manufactured, and it is a risk also. The risk profile, and people will be addicted for that drugs. So that's why that is separate licenses will be given, and that is C, C1 and X. What is a C, C1, X? Schedule C, C1. These schedule primarily biological and special products, including sera, vaccines, toxins, and toxins. All these, if at all they are going to manufactured by the pharma, they have to obtain the license of a C and C1. Schedule C includes sera, solutions of a serum, proteins for injection vaccines, and parental injections and toxins. This is a highly sensitive, and only in case of a necessity, it should not be given to all the people. So only limited companies will manufacture the C1 drugs. For that, they have to obtain the license of C and C1. Schedule C1 includes special products like digitalis, preparation, liver extracts and hormones. Liver extracts and hormones. Sir, only 1 minute, sir. Only 1 minute, sir. Hello? So the C1 is the special drugs. That is particularly these drugs, liver extracts and hormones, body hormones. This is also to be manufactured by the particular pharma companies. Drugs in this schedule often special handling, storage conditions, minus degrees due to their nature. Licenses in Form 2021B for retail and wholesale are need for handling these drugs. Even for selling of these particular products also, retailer or wholesaler respectively, they need Form 2021B also. And the next one is Schedule X license. What are the Schedule X, the license required? These scheduled drugs with high potential abuse requiring strict control over the manufacturing cell. Examples of Schedule X drugs are amphetamines, barbiturate, and certain physiotherapeutic substances. These are the sensitive one, and these, if at all they are manufacturing this one, and they have to get the Scheduled X license also. Licenses of Scheduled X drugs are done through Form 20F and 20G also. These require special labeling such as caution. That caution to be mentioned in that particular drugs labeling also. It is dangerous to take a preparation except under medical supervision. So all these things, whenever we are handling and the unit is going concern, whether they are following this one or not. That is to be general awareness. What I am ultimately, it should not give inconvenience or complaints or the closing of the unit, all these things. Closing of the unit will also be done. Now, don't think about IBC prevail over the other acts. If at all wrong products are manufactured, sensitive products without any license, definitely it is IBC will not they prevail over these acts. Okay, so be careful while handling the particularly the pharma sector. Form 25C, manufacturing of homeopathic medicines. Form 25F, manufacturing of scheduled X, excluding the CC1, like that. And Form 25, manufacturing of allopathic drugs specified in a CC1 and but excluding Schedule 10. And Form 28 is a loan license manufacture, sale and distribution of drugs mentioned in Form 28. So all these things earlier I have covered. And Form 28B for manufacturing of drugs are specified in C1 and the X, that is X also, that is 10. And Form 28C operating blood bank for processing whole human blood and preparation of blood components. And some pharma companies, they are maintaining the blood particular bank because they are manufacturing some drugs related to the blood. They will take the some the components of the blood and they will use for processing of the medicines. So for that also they have to take Form 28C for operating of the blood bank for processing the human blood and the preparation of blood components. Blood components they have to prepare with the help of the blood bank. They will they procure the blood and they will manufacture. For that they require the Form 28C license for Ayurvedic or Siddha or Unani drugs. Specific forms like Form 25D to be manufactured and sale, Form 28E loan license and other related renewal and good manufacturing practices certificate also exist. The good manufacturing certificate as per the particularly WHO guidelines, WHO guidelines, World Health Organization guidelines that our country will also follow the WHO guidelines. Drugs sales license. Sales licenses, suppose because here distribution is there, marketing is also there in pharma. If at all those companies are turned into CIRP, these licenses are there or not, that is to be, definitely it will be there. Or sometimes it may be expired also. So being a IRP or RP, you have to verify whether what is the expiry date and all these things. Retail drug license required for selling of drugs directly to consumers. The whole drug license 20B or 21B needs selling drugs in bulk to retailers and wholesalers. This is a drug licenses. And a loan license. What is meant by loan license? I'm talking about a loan license like that. A loan license is one of the licensing authority may provide a candidate who lacks the own manufacturing arrangement. They are not having the manufacturing facilities, but they are having to manufacture. But plans to use the production factory controlled by another license. Then it is issued production, sale or distribution not included. But here the loan license is not applicable for C and C1 and X pharma products. That is not useful. Other than these the three products, if at all they want to they give it to other agency for manufacturing. They can. For business, don't have the own manufacturing facilities, but want to utilize the facility of licensed manufacturer. Then they can use this. This is called a loan license. In simple words, permit government through one company can produce medicines for other company. This is a simple term. The company holding loan license ensures manufacturing process of complies with the all regulatory standard and requirements also. Next, import license. Because for companies, they require import license. All these are to be renewed properly. Whether it is live or not, that is to be ensured by the IRP or RP. Otherwise, if at all these are not there and imports are happening, then it will be blacklisted, etc., etc. Required for importing drugs and raw material into India and other licenses. FSI license required business deal with health supplements or nutraceuticals, and a GST registration is compulsory. Trademark registration is compulsory. Trade license is also compulsory from the local municipality corporations, etc. Failing to renew the pharmaceutical license in India can lead severe consequences, including legal penalties, financial loss, and reputational damage. So that's why this is very, very important. The pharmaceutical industry relies on licenses for legal operations, and a non-renewal can result in suspension of activities. Once it is suspension, then the adjudicating authority will ask why the government is suspended the activity. Even NCLT is also not having the power. If at all you are having the license, you should manufacture. This is a sensitive areas, and if at all the quality is not ensured, the suspension of activities, and if at all the ingredients, whatever the contents of that particular drug or syrup is not up to the mark, the company is going to kill the people. Then NCLT, NDS, NCLAT, even Honorable Supreme Court also, they don't entertain this type of this one. Be careful. Fines and even imprisonment also. No question of IBC prevail over other acts. This is a life-saving drugs. We are manufacturing the drugs for cure the disease, not to kill the human beings. So that's why be cautious while handling the cases of pharma companies, and some little bit of knowledge is very much required. But if at all pharma is there, if it is a going concern, definitely one unit is more than sufficient. Till that particular the unit is hand over to the prospective resolution applicant, we should be more cautious. In pharmaceutical industry, drug license typically have 5 years validity period. After this period, license need to be renewed. This renewal ensures pharmacists and other business handling drugs maintain proper infrastructure, staffing, and ethical practice. Why they have given that license for 5 years? After 5 years, again the drugs control department, they will come, they will verify the particularly proper infrastructure is there or not, proper qualified staffing is there or not, whether they are following the ethical practices or not. All these things they will verify, and so some of the companies turn into CIRP on account of non-adherence of this one, and they closed. Once it is closed, account turn into non-performing. Non-performing leads to filing of the case with the NCLT. So in that case, definitely going concern may not be possible unless until the rectify that whatever the errors or defects that earlier person has committed, board of directors. 5 years validity. Drug license in India generally issued for 5 years term. Renewal requirement
Sir,
before expiration.
sir, sorry to intervene.
Tell me, sir.
I have a doubt now. Now, you say the license, there are some issues. In these circumstances,
Sir.
if if you're going to have the CIRP process, you're
Sir.
going to sell the unit as a going concern.
Sir.
And one of the major objectives of IBC code is wealth maximization.
Correct.
So with this background, you need to approach the authorities and have the licenses renewed. Is it
Correct.
not? Whatever mistake the management has done,
Correct.
when the RPs or RP or the ARP is representing, don't you think they will
Correct.
rectify that mistake and
Yes,
see that?
yes, sir. Because unless until the unit is not functioning, the
Okay.
prospective resolution applicant may not give the high value and wealth maximization will not happen.
Exactly, sir. Okay,
But
sir.
sir, here one more suggestion.
Okay.
The pharmacy experts can also be services can be availed by the IRP or RP.
Yes, sir.
Because if at all one person is there, sir, he is in production, sir, or he is in marketing, sir. He worked earlier in Reddy Labs or Olympic or another company, Biocon. You take their services. And it is also part of CIRP cost.
Exactly.
CIRP cost. Otherwise, okay, I am giving only rough idea.
Okay.
But you are always eligible to take the services of the experts in pharma also, subject to approval of the COC.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Now, renewal requirement before the expiration date. Licenses or holders must apply for renewal well in time, because they will come, they will visit, they will verify the processes, whether they are following the guidelines or who guidelines are good manufacturing practices of who World Health Organization. All these things verify, then only they will give the license. Whether they are contaminated that land or contaminated the water or the particularly waste management, proper disposal is there, all these things. Compliance and trust. Renewal ensures continued compliance with the regulations, build a trust with authorities and customers. Renewal process. The renewal process typically involves submitting updated documentation and paying the renewal fees. That is one of the requirement of the particular the function of the IRP or RP. Timely renewal is also required. It is crucial to initiate renewal process well before the expiration date. And the potential penalties or business disruption will not happen. Key pollution. One more issue, not only the drug licenses under Drug Control Act 1940 or 50, or a Drug and Cosmetics Act 1940 or a Drugs Control Act 1950, but another major issue is the pollution issue. So as I told, Visakhapatnam, pharma city, lot of contamination. Even once, because even as a banker, whenever I am going inside, it is very difficult. Even though I have closed the doors, even in a AC condition also, lot of smell is coming inside the car. You see that poor people who are working in the labor or the employees who are working in that companies, they are sacrificing their lives also. So the key pollution issues of the pharmaceutical sector. The Indian pharmaceutical industry faces significant pollution-related challenges, primarily stemming from the improper disposal of a manufacturing waste. Waste is more. They will throw somewhere. If at all people residing in that particular place, then big problem for them. Lot of smell, and not only smell, that particularly on account of that fumes and other things, the skin diseases, the lung problems arises. Byproducts leading water and soil contamination. That's why next 15 years, the Vaisak pharma plants that France people, they have given the report also. But nobody is taking. Even if at all the pharmacy is closed, nearly 150 units or 200 units turn into non-performing asset. Again, all cases will be filed with the NCLT by the financial creditors. And nearly 30,000 to 40,000 crores, the funding all banks put together. So here, the soil and water contamination is more. This pollution can serious health implication, including antibiotic resistance and other health issues also. The industry requires various licenses, including pollution board license, to operate, but compliance with environmental regulation and waste management remains a challenge, especially small enterprises. Particularly MSME sector, number of companies are there. They are having the problem. The waste where to throw, if at all far away, transportation cost, huge amount of transportation cost without any benefit. And always they are thinking about reduce the cost. If at all cost is increasing, then the product price government will not allow. All these things are there. Key pollution issues. What are the key pollution? Water contamination. Pharmaceutical waste, including active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs, contaminated water bodies like rivers. Some companies, they will direct the particular waste to the rivers also. Once the rivers are there, nearby agriculture lands are suffered a lot. And if at all any animals are drinking that water, they will die or they will suffer. And if at all any plants are growing in that area, and if at all eaten by others, separate problems, groundwater affecting both the ecosystem and the drinking water sources. Improper waste disposal practices can lead to soil contamination, impacting agriculture lands, potentially entering in a food chain. Whatever the vegetables that are grown in that area, all are contaminated. We don't know. It looks like a brinjal. It looks like a lady's finger, or it looks like a tomato. But inside, what is inside content? It is very difficult to for naked eye whether it is a polluted or not polluted. Air pollution, hazardous waste from pharmaceutical manufacturing, if not handled properly, can lead air pollution. And antibiotic resistance. The presence of high level of antibiotics in the environment due to improper waste disposal contributed development of antibiotic resistance bacteria, posing significant threat to the public health. This is a major issue. So whenever we are handling these things are also keep it in mind. And who is the person who is handling this disposal of this the particularly the waste, and whether they are controlling the water or air pollution or not, what measures, all these things, regulatory and licensing. Pollution board license is required. The Indian pharmaceutical industry requires pollution board license for manufacturing, which is categorized as red category industry. Under the pollution control board, it is called not yellow or green, red category. So lot of measures to be taken. Even some of the companies that I have shown that the particular accidents are also, lot of fire accidents are happening on account of a proper disposal of that chemicals are not happening. If at all any short circuit is there, definitely the reactors or that particularly other things will burst and a lot of problem will come. Waste management. Company must implement a pharmaceutical waste management plan to identify, manage hazardous and non-hazardous wastes and compliance challenges. Small medium enterprises, particularly sized pharmaceutical, often struggle with the cost, complexities, and complying with the environmental regulation and implementing proper waste management practices. This is a big problem. Big companies, they are having their own they transport particularly vehicles. They will do, but a small companies, it is a cost factor. Need for stronger standards. There is a growing need for stronger environmental standards throughout the pharmaceutical supply chain to mitigate the pollution problems. Health impacts. Direct exposure of the pharmaceutical pollution can cause various health issues, including digestive problems, reproductive issues. On account of that one, the people will become reproductive and neurological disorders and even cancer also. So that type of problems are there. Antibiotic resistance, a direct consequences of pharmaceutical pollution, make it harder to treat a bacterial infection and can lead to increased mortality rate also. So all these problems are there. So while handling this, definitely in the coming days, to my perception thinking, the pharma companies, most of them turn into bad on account of trade barriers and other things. Bankers, they are the trustees for the public funds. They don't stop. Otherwise, if recovery is not happening, then they are unable to pay the deposits amount. So that's why they have to take the action. If a government is issued any orders, no problem. If a courts are issued any judgments, no problem. Otherwise, they have to follow the SURFACE or DRT or IBC or one-time settlement or the compromise proposals like that. Indian pharmaceutical industry faces a critical need of addressing pollution related to protect the both environmental and public health, strengthen the environmental regulation, improving the waste management practice, and promoting greater awareness, compliance, crucial steps in mitigating the negative impact of the pharmaceutical pollution. Now, fraudulent transactions. Puff. So I have covered all these things, CIRP. What are the general fraudulent transaction? Whenever you are going to give the particular company to any prospective resolution applicant, the qualities of the prospective resolution applicant is also one of the important area. Otherwise, if at all it is going into other person, simply he will dismantle the company and the plant and machinery he will sell and the land he will sell to others and he will encash. He don't want to run the company. Thereby, liquidation leads to death of the company. Liquidation leads to death of the company. Not only the death of the company, it encourages the unemployment, it decreases the GDP of the country, it decreases the forex reserves of the country, etc., etc. So, what are the examples of the fraudulent transactions in pharmaceutical sector? That is a puff transactions. This is useful because this type of examples of fraudulent transaction in Indian pharmaceutical sector includes production and sale of counterfeit and substandard drugs, kickbacks and bribery involving doctors, companies to promote specific drugs, channel stuffing to inflate the sales figure, misrepresentation of a product quality, and batch testing, batches. They each batch, lot of one batch that drugs are released, that batch testing is not happening. So they will manufacture and they will simply remove and then rename the batch number, but testing will not happen. Misuse of sales promotion schemes, fraudulent activities in public procurement, fabricated bids like that. Particularly whenever the hospitals are asked for tenders, fabricated bids also they will place. counterfeit and substandard medicines. Production distribution. What are the frauds? A significant portion of medicines sold in India are fake and substandard. Even in Delhi, one of my friend told, insulin is a fake insulin is available for the diabetic persons. If they used, the sugar levels will not control. And once it is not controlled and it shoots to 400, then they will approach the doctor. Doctor will change that medicine. Again, the changed medicine also substandard or fake. With India being, because the insulin cost, one viral is 2,500 or like that, or 2,000 reputed companies. India being a major global producer and market for them. Because of 142 population, crores of population. Whether it is a fake or substandard, how to know? One big rocket is also there in Hyderabad. They are manufacturing the duplicate drugs. But a prima facie, all, even distributors also, particularly in Abbott's Hyderabad, some places, distributors also. So once we have given loan to them, then the Drugs Control Act, they will seize that particular company. Then automatically turn it to non-performing. Quality control issues. Counterfeit drugs or lack of proper quality control. Batch testing, costly. We have to engage the pharmacists. You have to engage the M pharmacy or B pharmacy people. No, ordinary people. How they will verify? Security features like hologram or tampering evident packaging. This type of frauds are happening. Once you verify how many complaints are there in that particular company, whenever you are taking over the company, how many complaints are there? What type of complaints? And the quality issues, false information. They may use also contain inaccurate information such as a false expiration dates or dosage instruction on their labels. The expiry dates, they will mention different dates than the actuals. Dosage instructions. If a dosage is required 2 spoons, they will mention 3 spoons or 4 spoons. Why? Because consumption will be more, additional demand will be created. Wrong practices are there. And corruption and bribery. Doctor pharma kickbacks. Doctors may be bribed to prescribe the expensive, unnecessary drugs to patients, creating system of rent-seeking behavior. Because here we are observing, as a layman, we are observing whenever we are going, the medical representative sitting outside, they will give the free samples and they are providing gifts and other things. And collusive practices, collusion occur between drug companies, stockists, retailers, medical representatives, leading artificially inflate the medicine cost. Because of some essential drugs, they will inflate the costs also. Bribery procurement. Bidders might offer bribes government official to win the contracts, public pharmaceutical procurement, according to National Library Medicine. They told these items, whatever items are National Library Medicine also. Sales and procurement frauds, that is also happening. Channel stuffing, sales staff, channel partners may collude to push the sales beyond the actual demand, often artificially inflating the stock to meet the targets. Not only that one, misuse of schemes. Sales promotion programs can be misused by agents, resulting fraudulent claims and the diversion of discounting stock intended for the instructions. Fabricated bids. In public procurement, fraudulent bids can be drafted to favor the particular company, leading unfair competition and costs. These are happening, and anyhow, the transactional audit and all these things are there. So the transactional audit, all these things are there. Fabricated bids in public procurement, fraudulent bids can be drafted to favor the particular company, leading to unfair competition and costs also. Other forms of fraud. What are the other forms of the fraud? Falsified documentation, forged document, inaccurate records, and a general lack of a proper document are common fraudulent activities in the pharmaceutical. Misused expired and damaged goods. Inadequate control can lead to misuse or improper disposal of expired and damaged goods. That also they are doing. I am the one of the victim in while purchasing the saline bottles. In the saline bottles, a lot of fungus is there. Still, the traders are selling that fungus bottle, even though they know that fungus is there, but commercial nature. That's all. Exploiting a patent support programs. Healthcare providers, pharmacists have been known to exploit a patent copay and support programs for financial gain. Financial gain. Not only this one, factors attribute failure of a pharma companies. Why the pharma companies are failures are more in India, even though 10,000 and 3,000 companies, they particularly reputed companies and 10,000 and odd other companies and the MSME number of companies are there. Why the failures are increasing? What could be the reason? Scientific challenges, inherent complexities in drug discovery and development, including target identification, drug design, and optimization can lead to unforeseen efficacy and safety issues. So that's why some of them are closed by the the departments also. Regulatory hurdles, stringent regulatory requirements, evolving guidelines can delay approvals, increasing development cost, and limit market to access the new drugs. That's why some of the old drug companies, due to increase in the cost of operations, they are stopped and they are unable to pay to the financial creditor or operational creditor because they are fighting with the new drugs and sometimes the their new drugs market is more when compared to the old drugs. Measuring manufacturing issues, quality control fails, supply chain disruptions, and manufacturing inconsistencies can compromise integrity and efficacy of the particular safety and pharmaceutical products. All these things leads to failure of the pharma companies. Number is increasing day on. Being a banker, I know the pharma companies how they are failing. Even I am I'm the witness for two pharma companies. That too 1 year back, 1 year back only, less than 1 year back. One is at Bangalore, second one is at Hyderabad. They're unable to manufacture. Quality is not maintained. Drugs control department, they will seize the company. And whatever the loans they have taken from the bank, that banks unable to recover the amount on account of these issues. Competitive pressures, intense competition from generic drugs, biosimilars, or innovative therapies can erode the market share profitably, especially the products of limited differentiation. This is also one of the reasons for failure. Post-market safety concerns, adverse events, drug interactions, long-term side effects discovered after the product launch can result recalls, litigation, damage, and brand reputation. On account of using that products, side effects are more. People will stop. Once the people are stopped, the industry to be stopped. The industry to be closed. Once the people are not purchasing that product, definitely there is no demand. Once there is no demand, they have to close. Then the financial creditor come and they will classify that account as NPA, and they will file with NCLT or DRT or surface, etc. By understanding the addressing these factors proactively, pharmaceutical companies mitigate risk, enhance product quality. They have to enhance, improve the likelihood of success throughout the product life cycle. Once the product is outdated and the product is not curing the disease, they have to do the research and enhance the quality, enhance the characteristics of the product. But here, how to manage the pharmaceutical company during CIRP as a going concern and finalization of prospective resolution applicant. Whenever you are going to hand over this company, the prospective resolution professional should also having the knowledge and experience in the line of activity. Otherwise, he will take with the less cost and split the company into plant and machinery, land and buildings, and whatever the licenses are there. Today, the licenses can be sold to others also. So they will sell the license to others. If at all the company is 2 years old and turn into bad, and the remaining 3 years, they can sell the license to other companies also. So the finalization of a prospective resolution applicant, particularly best management practices in India. These practices are crucial in maintaining high standards, ensuring the product safety, and fostering the substantial growth of the competitive global market. If at all the prospective resolution applicant is not up to the mark, if at all you hand over the company, the same situation, the account will be sorry, disconnected. Hello.
Yeah, now it is connection.
Now
Now it is
it's
connected, sir. Now it is connected.
Aha. Mm. Mm. Quality control issues. They particularly here is production counterfeit substances. Example of order of transaction over, and this one particularly scientific factors. This is also over strategic management, quality issue, regulatory compliances, adhering the GMP good manufacturing practices that are defined by World Health Organization. and other relevant regulations is essential in legal compliance and maintaining the product quality. Those who are capable of this one, then only we have to give this one, not a H1 bid like that. Operational excellence. Those persons, there is a prospective resolution applicant, operational excellence, optimizing the manufacturing process, supply chain management, distribution practice, ensure efficiency and cost effective. That type of skills are also required. We have to judge in a different manner. Whatever the particularly is require talented people and a continuous update of knowledge. Continuous update of the knowledge is also very important. And ethical conduct helps skilled and motivated workforce. Those who are inject the additional manpower with research oriented people, then only that type of a prospective applicant, a resolution applicant, we have to select. Sustainability, adopting the green manufacturing practices. Those who are controlling the water pollution or air pollution or waste management practices, that they are going to adopt, that type of a people only we have to take on board as a resolution applicant. Impact become the increasingly important because all these factors keep it in mind while selecting the particular the prospective resolution applicant. Specific practices, continuous training is also required. Once in the prospective, once you are giving the expression of interest or a request for a resolution plan, whether they are going to give the training or not. Training is a continuous process in the pharma because the process will be changed. The drug composition will be changed. The modern techniques are to be adopted. Otherwise, if at all you have given or without verifying all these things, the same situation. Whatever the earlier promoter is defunct that company on account of the reasons, the same reasons will continue. Continuous training, regulatory training personnel like current good manufacturing practices and good quality assurance of produce and their procedures to maintain competence. That is required. A risk-based approach, prioritizing quality control efforts. Whether the prospective resolution applicant is going to maintain the quality control efforts on the area with high potential risk, then only we have to select those people only. Data integrity, ensuring accuracy, reliability, and quality data related data. Particularly, whatever the production process is, the accurate composition and accurate the particular ingredients are to be given. If at all a small change at that side or this side, lot of side effects will be faced by the people. Data integrated, the term used to describe accuracy, consistency, and reliability data of throughout the life cycle of the product. Whatever the pharma products you are manufacturing, throughout the life cycle, the same composition, no deviation. Batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, batch 4, all should be the same composition only. Not minor or micro differences should not be there. In pharmaceutical, life sciences industry, maintaining data integrity is a crucial given role in making critical decisions, shape outcomes of the drug development to human health. The human health is very, very important. Routine, if at all the pharma companies, if at all the product the length or there some deviations or errors are there, no problem. It is not for consumption purpose. But here, to save the people, this is a very, very important. And supplier audits, regular assessing of supplier to ensure quality of raw materials. Whatever the raw materials you are going to get from the suppliers, all should be verified properly, because the input is to be converted into output like tablets or syrups or injections, etc., etc. The input quality control is also very much required, and a real-time data recording of a clinical tests and process to close event possible. Particularly when the research and development companies are there, for that also banks are giving funding. They will, the particularly model animals, they will give that, but they will use for a research purpose. After that, human beings, and they will adopt some hospitals, and those who are ready to take the injections, and if at all anything happen, the lakhs and crores of rupees they have to pay those who are taking that medicine during the trial run. Trial run, all these things are required. And digital transformation, integrated technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning into research, production, delivery. Today, particularly the research and development in pharma is the technology blending is also required. Technology like artificial intelligence or ML, machine learning, into research and production and delivery. Like that's why if you see the ready labs, all are automated. Because I have visited some production department, because we are the lenders, we want to see means they have to show the production department. We have to see the stores means they have to show the stores department how much hygienic condition, what precautions they don't allow normally. With the biometric system only, we will enter into that one. And whatever the certificates are also there before entering, if at all any fumes not suitable to that particular officer, then he may face a problem also. Some fumes will come. All these things, precautions they will take, and even our signatures will also take. If at all anything happen, we are not responsible. Like that, they will take the declaration forms also. Public-private partnership, collaboration of the government and other stakeholders to improve the infrastructure, access to healthcare. If at all some companies or public-private partnership is there, that is preferable. That is preferable. The prospective resolution applicant, both the public and the government, if at all is there, definitely some good results will happen. And good distribution practices. That is also we have to see while selecting the resolution applicant, ensuring proper handling, storage, and distribution of pharmaceutical products. Strong leadership is also required. The prospective resolution should have the experience for the last so many. The board of directors of the particular company should have good knowledge. If at all Reddy Labs is taking over, or Olympic, or other companies, particularly Biocon, definitely we will prefer that one, because they are in the field and the line of activity. They know how to manage this. The defunct company like that. Innovation and R&D, investing research to develop a new innovative pharmaceutical products, that is also required while selecting the resolution professionals, resolution applicants, prospective resolution applicant, and strengthen the API manufacturing, reducing the reliance on foreign API, active pharmaceutical imports. So some companies, they are manufacturing the APIs also. And instead of importing, suppose one company and one country and another country, some relationship are strained, then APIs, pharmaceutical ingredient will not come. Once it will not come, company will be closed. The alternatives are also to be developed. Or research and development should be they thinking about alternative, the bulk drugs also. By implementing the best practices, Indian pharmaceutical company can enhance competitiveness, product quality, safety, and contribute overall advancement of the healthcare. So these are applicable to the prospective resolution applicants also, and the CIRP cases under IBC pharmaceutical sector. Particularly in pharma, under the insolvency, specific skills are required. Particularly the skills beyond the general insolvency expertise. I know IBC, I know regulation, I know rules. Beyond that, deep understanding the pharmaceutical industry, you should have the knowledge. Unique characteristics of the pharma. That's why from 230 onwards, what are the unique characteristics of the pharma? I am highlighting to you. Under the regulations of the pharma, the operation complexities of the pharma, I have enlightened to you. Once you have gone through this one, particularly one more time, the PPT, definitely you will have some knowledge in this pharmaceutical sector also. Industry specific knowledge is very much required. Otherwise, he may not be succeed in handling the CIR. He may not exceed. Pharmaceutical regulations, you have to update. Whether it is a 1940 or 1950, the rules, including manufacturing, licensing, and distribution, is a crucial one. That's why the IPS should have the knowledge of the particular Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 or Drugs Control Act 1950. Intellectual properties, you should have the knowledge. What is IPRs? How they are registered, to whom they have registered, and some IPRs, they are giving the loan license to others also. Knowledge of the patents, the trademarks, IPR relevant pharmaceutical products is a vital for protecting the assets of the during CIR. Manufacturing process. Okay, you need not understand the micro level. At least the process 1, it goes to process 2, process 3, process 4, final product. What is the process for inputs? Process 2, what are the inputs, additional inputs? All these things, a rough idea is required. Not only that one, good manufacturing practices. Whatever the good manufacturing process are there, practices are there, that is also essential. That is also essential. And research and development. What is research? How long they are doing? What they are doing? And how much expenditure is incurring? How many scientists are there? Whether that research is existence or we are doing in a different manner. All these things. Understanding the R&D landscape, ongoing projects, potential for future value of the research pipeline is important to accept the corporate data assets. Supply chain management. What are the inputs? What are the outputs? Who is where to warehousing, and what is who are the buyers, and the wholesalers, retailers, all these things. Knowledge of the pharmaceutical supply chain, including source of raw material, manufacturing, storage, distribution is a crucial maintaining of operations during CIRP. Drug safety and pharmacovigilance. Understanding of the regulation process related to drug safety, monitoring and reporting of pharmacovigilance is also very important to understand by the IRP or RP. Pharmacovigilance. What is this one? Pharmacovigilance is a science and a practice of monitoring safety of medicines, taking action and reduce the risk of maximum benefits. It is essentially a system of detecting, assessing, understanding, preventing adverse effects of the drugs related problems. That is called a pharmacovigilance. If at all the drug is consumed by one patient or one public, no side effects. On account of this drug, another problem should not arise. This involves post-marketing surveillance of drugs to identify and evaluate any adverse drug reactions. Some drug reactions on account of using that drug. If a reaction is there, nobody will purchase that drug. The pharmacovigilance is also there. Additional skills, you should know about the Contract Act, because you are giving a license, the loan license you are giving, or some agreements, or with some agreements with the supplier, or some agreements with the warehousing. So contract law, you should be dispute resolution. Once the disputes are there, particularly whether with the doctors or the hospitals, about the quality, about the safety of the drug, whether the today what is happening is, even a retail medical shops, the insulin should be in the cool condition, refrigeration condition. They are not putting on the refrigerator because their refrigerator is a small one, and so many things, water bottles and other things are there. These are not putting, and the drinks and other things are they are putting. And if the insulin is not in refrigeration condition, the total insulin will be damaged. Contamination will happen. Today, it is a big area. So a lot of complaints. Experience in resolving disputes to intellectual property rights, supply chain, and other contractual issues. Valuation of pharmaceutical assets. This is also very important. Whenever you are selling the assets to the prospective resolution applicants, or in liquidation, the valuers may aware and may not aware the value of the particular reactors, processing machines, etc., etc. Because the valuer should also be a knowledgeable person about the various the equipment that is used in this one. Various 1 minute, sir. Ability to accurately value the intangible assets like patents. So whenever you are engaging the valuers, they should be competent to value the patent rights, trademark rights, research and development projects. At what level the research is there? Up to this, what is the value? Whether the research is in successful stage or not, all these things. And valuation is also very important. Business continuity, ensuring continuous essential operations, manufacturing, distribution during CIRP process. It should be continued. Otherwise, the machinery is a waste. The machinery is not useful. Once the machinery is rusting, you are manufacturing sensitive products, that to human consumption products, that is going to be waste. That machinery no value. So the valuer should also know all these things. They should also familiar with the machinery. No, this machinery is purchased on so-and-so date, 20% differentiation, 100 rupees minus 20, 80, that type of calculation. Whether it is sellable or not, whether it is usable or not, whether that on account of a stoppage or gap of the particular manufacturing, whether it is reusable or not, all these things. Communication skills. Whenever you are discussing with the prospective resolution applicants about the unit, about the research and development, about the uniqueness of the products they are manufacturing, and about the potentiality in the world market, about the product, all these things you should have the knowledge. Problem solving techniques. The problems will definitely arise with the suppliers or the debtors or the staff or the drugs department, and the ability to identify the solve complex problems related to pharmaceutical industry and the CIRP. Negotiation skills with various stakeholders, particularly during the CIRP process. The every creator or the staff, they are also aiming for to get back their funds. So here also negotiation skills are ethical consideration, independence and impartiality that is required, and the confidentiality to be maintained, protecting the confidential information of the pharmaceutical company, the formulations, the compositions, because you know everything about the license and about the compositions and all these things. You should not disclose to other companies also. Maintaining transparent dealing the CIRP process, and in essence, particularly the resolution professional handling the pharma CIRP cases require blend of a specialized industry knowledge, legal, financial, and strong operational skills about the company, about the sector, navigate the complexity of the pharmaceutical under the IBC framework. But the challenges are also there. Regulatory compliance. You have to meet the regulatory compliance, both the domestic as well as international markets also, because your products are going to other country. Industry need navigate complex and evolving regulations, quality, safety, and efficacy of the product. Intellectual property rights. Industry has faced some criticism on some developed countries for its intellectual property laws related to the patents of the pharmaceutical products. That also you should be in a position to handle, balancing need for affordable medicines. Prices should not be too much. It should be affordable within the country, outside the country also. And in respecting of intellectual property rights remaining continuous issue, price control and affordability. Indian government regulates the price of essential medicines and population for its population. While the benefits of the patents, it can sometimes lead to pricing pressure, pharmaceutical companies affecting profitability and ability to invest in R&D. Thereby, some of the companies, they are unable to invest more funds in research and development because research and development, whether it will success or failure, we don't know. But till success, we have to spend. Once it is failed, all are waste. Once it is succeeded, intellectual property rights and counterfeit medicines, particularly Indian pharmaceutical industry grappled with the issue of counterfeit substandard medicines, which can be undermine public health and erode the trust of the industry. That also you have to look into R&D investment, particularly the during CIRP. If R&D is stopped, then whatever the earlier crores of rupees they have invested, that is also sheer waste. We have to give, being a going concern, you have to provide some funds to continue the R&D activity. Thereby, the prospective resolution applicant also will continue the same. Otherwise, whatever the incurred amount is sheerly waste. Despite the industry overall growth, Indian pharmaceutical industries traditionally invested smaller percentage of revenue research and development. This implication industry ability to develop innovative drugs and complete the same. The contract and development manufacturer organization, we see the continuous collaborations investment in R&D post COVID also. Pricing pressures for export markets, that is also there. And in global market, the pharmaceutical company face intense competition, particularly Europe and the USA also, which leads to pricing pressures with lower profit margins. Because once you are taking the company as a going concern, the products are not only within the country, but also outside the country. Quality control and manufacturing standards to be maintained, and diverse location, the culture, consistent quality across manufacturing facilities. And it is a challenge, particularly the good manufacturing practices you have to adopt, and the quality standard is crucial for export and global. Healthcare infrastructure, particularly significant pharmaceutical manufacturing capacity challenges, and all these things are there in a rural areas also. We have to supply the drugs with a reasonable rate, and the distribution channels are to be strengthened, etc., etc. The global trade barriers I have discussed about that. Yes, the present scenario, that is also there. Talented skilled workers is also required. Otherwise, particular pharmaceutical talented people only required. Otherwise, the drugs not up to the quality, and sometimes the exports are also will be rejected by the importers. Environmental concerns are also very important. As I told, water, air pollution, and waste management is also to be practiced. This is the important. So this is in brief about what I wish to tell. But here, some knowledge is required. Once you are entered into that particular firm, with this basic knowledge, some suffocation will not happen. Otherwise, if at all they are using a different terminology, different processes, different nomenclature, then it is very difficult for you. So going concern means some basic knowledge is required. Anyhow, the production manager and the marketing manager should be under your control. And if at all any additional knowledge is required, you can take from the market, that to senior persons, those who already worked in the pharmaceutical company and a related product only, then only he will also give some support to you. And on your own, it is difficult. But before entering into the premises, the basics of pharmaceutical industry to be updated. Then only the success rate of the going concern will be happen. Otherwise, it will not happen. With this, I'm concluding. Thank you very much for your patience listening for the last 3 hours. I wish you all the best, and definitely in the coming days, this type of the sector will cases will be filed by the financial creditor with the NCLT, etc. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for
Ah.
sharing your valuable time and sharing your experience.
Okay. Now I am closing, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for giving your valuable time and sharing your suggestions in pharmaceutical.
Okay.